Good evening, this is Maestro Cretella with a Dawn of War 2 Retribution Elite Modcast. Today, as our very first player, we have Maestro Cretella as Sindri, Trollface, Chaos Sorcerer, this teleporting melee hero with a lot of crazy shenanigans that people need to start catching on to. I've been getting a lot of mileage out of the Sorcerer just based on the fact that people don't really know how to deal with his stuff. My teammate is powerfist, ignores butt armor. I'm not entirely sure what that means, but anyway, he's rocking this taxi cab, yellow and red Techmarine, who I think has gotten some love in the Elite mod with a new weapon, some buffs to the relay beacon. He's just pretty good all around now. On the other side, first we have BloodySouly as this pretty cool looking skin for this Force Commander. Force Commander, obviously a tanky melee hero. Just a great hero in general. Very good, both because he is a tanky melee hero, does a lot of damage, and also can support his friendly allies, mostly his troops. And then finally, we have MurderIsArt as this Blood Ravens Grey Knight Bro Captain. And I think the Bro Captain has been kind of turning out to be a really good hero lately. Alright. So we have the Strike Squad from MurderIsArt pushing up, approaching these tacks, getting into melee with them, although they already took some damage on the approach. And they do retreat out of there. On this side, I decide to go for a double Chaos Space Marine build. This is a build that it's a pretty typical build for Chaos Space Marines. Some people say it's not the best one, and I certainly know a lot about what its limitations are. It's definitely not that good against early Tier 1 builds for Space Marines, since the Chaos Space Marines get countered by Tax and ASM. The main reason I got it, though, is basically because I know I'm up against two tanky melee heroes, and I want to be able to focus fire them down. There are different schools of thought about how to deal with tanky melee heroes early on in the game. Certainly the more traditional school of thought is the one that I'm going with here, which is to kite and focus fire. The other school of thought, which is kind of something I picked up from Texanius, is ignore the tanky melee hero and then fight everything else. I've tried that before, and I'm not saying it doesn't work, although I've had trouble executing it sometimes. Like, I've tried getting Chaos Raptors against Grey Knights, since that's what Tex told me to do, but I often found that my Chaos Raptors would just jump into a Strike Squad, a Purgation Squad, or a Inquisitorial Stormtrooper Squad, and then the Bro Captain would just run back and then start attacking the Chaos Raptor Squad and bleeding them without taking any bleed himself. On the other side of things, BloodySouly gets a Devastator Squad. Right now we don't really have any real counters to that. My Heretics right here only have 4 members, kind of chasing after these scouts, but BloodySouly being pretty smart about it, running his scouts back, shooting whenever I stop approaching, and then running back whenever I start approaching again. Purgation Squad out right now. I'm trying to keep these CSM in play. I actually went for Eternal War on my Chaos Space Marines, and it's a little funny that I went for this, considering I often talk about how this is something that I personally disapprove of, getting Eternal War as your first upgrade. But again, I wanted to kind of maximize that strategy of focus firing down the tanky melee heroes, and especially since we have 2 of them. Alright, right now, red team is the red team is definitely pushed up into the middle. I have my Sorcerer in here, a little overextended, but getting upgraded to the Vestments of the Warp. A Raptor Squad still wouldn't be a bad idea here, since both of us have to deal with the Purgation Squad from CK MurderIsArt, as well as the Devastator from BloodySouly. But instead I'm going for the Vestments of the Warp. It's just a cheaper jump option, and the Sorcerer won't do as much damage as a Raptor Squad, but he also won't bleed as much, unless he actually dies. Anyway, Techmarine right here, upgraded with Artificer Armor and Refractor Field. Interesting to see him with Artificer Armor. To be honest, I don't even remember seeing him use mines early I don't really remember seeing him use mines in this game, but it's pretty good upgrade for right now, just what it does to make him a little more durable, giving him an extra 200 health, and then 3.5 HP per second energy health regeneration. Pretty good. Anyway, while there's fighting going down over here, I kind of have my heretics going in for a bash over here. Kind of a counter bash because the Grey Knight's got a pretty good bash over here. The Bro Captain got that big special attack, has been upgraded to the Unending Purge. Increases his speed and health regeneration when his health drops below 50%. Anyway, Heretics getting off that Gen Bash. Meanwhile, these Chaos Space Marines and the Sorcerer were kind of in the middle, but they're now kind of running forward to support this Gen Bash to make sure it actually occurs. If I hadn't supported them, the Heretics probably would have had to go, but now I'm kind of distracting, buying the Heretics time to do their Gen Bash. Those double Eternal War Chaos Space Marines focus firing down the Force Commander. And now, unfortunately, I'm about to get doubled. Purgation Squad coming up here, along with the Devastator. Sorcerer does teleport into the Devastator to tie it up. But now the Devastator's moving right into my units. And now I'm really getting doubled. Still staying in as long as I can. Heretics decide to go up and Doom Blast that Purgation Squad since it was trying to run away from my Sorcerer. But at this point, I'm starting to run out of steam here. I'm keeping these Chaos Space Marines in play, but I decide to retreat them. I think I managed to get them out with losing any units. So, a pretty good play there by me. Kept those Chaos Space Marines pretty long without even taking any bleed. And I'm also getting a Chaos Raptor Squad. So, Power Fist ignores butt armor. He's gone for a 2-tack build. This is actually not very common for Space Marines. But it's certainly pretty good in some ways. Very durable build. Pretty good ranged DPS, especially since all of his melee units, all of his units are ranged units. And he also even has a Sniper Scout Squad. I think it was bleeding models from that Shotgun Scout Squad from BloodySouly. The Sniper Scouts should retreat now before they lose a model, but too late. They take one shot off on the Strike Squad. And this Devastator's been doing pretty well for BloodySouly, but now I'm getting that Raptor Squad, along with those double Eternal War Chaos Space Marines. So I have a pretty... what I told my teammate is that my current build is something that will not really be prepared to deal with vehicles. I kind of got a build that will be very good for dealing with the infantry units of both races. I have those double Eternal War Chaos Space Marines to deal with the melee heroes, and then I also have Raptors to deal with the suppression teams, and then Heretics to just be Heretics. And now, because I did that, I don't know if these players consciously decided to counter my build, but both BloodySouly and MurderIsArt are going for Dreadnoughts. And that's exactly the weakness of my build right now. Basically, this is a build that's very good against infantry, especially against the Space Marine and Grey Knight infantry that's around right now. But none of these units can be upgraded to do AV in Tier 2. Aside from the Chaos Space Marines can kind of do light AV with either of their marks, but neither the Grey Knight Dreadnought nor the Space Marine Dreadnought are light vehicles. My team, blue team, has gotten a 2-cap. I have gotten some generator bashes over here. Fortunately, bad engagement for BloodySouly, getting jumped twice, first by the Sorcerer and then the Raptors. And unfortunately now I see that Dreadnought. I do not have AV, and Sorcerer getting a little too close to those base turrets, decides to teleport out of there. Looks like my teammate, Butt Armor, is kind of getting hit by these Grey Knights, while I'm still dealing with the Space Marines. Retreat out of there with my melee units. Chaos Space Marines still in play. Oh no, they get out of there. And a Grey Knight Dreadnought currently in its vanilla form, along with the regular Dreadnought also in its vanilla form. So the Grey Knight Dreadnought, usually you see either the plasma cannon, or it will just stay as a melt-a-gun. The melt-a-gun is very good. People didn't really realize it at first, but it is very good, just because it does such good damage in a single burst. It's AV, and it's good anti-infantry, too. Anyway, these Sniper Scouts, actually, they seem to be doing okay. He's not bleeding too much from those Sniper Scouts. And what my teammate did, because I told him that I was going to have trouble with AV, and I told him that my build is good for anti-infantry, he actually puts rockets on both of his tacks. Anyway, unfortunately, both me and my teammate are kind of off the field. I'm actually getting a Havoc Squad out now for extra AV, in addition to my teammate's already pretty good AV now. Grey Knight Bro Captain does get that Nemesis Force Halberd. I think that is the most common weapon upgrade that we see for the Bro Captain. Obviously, the Demon Hammer does more damage, but I mean, it does more DPS, but then the Force Halberd does have that splash damage. And unfortunately, I lost my Chaos Raptor squad right there. A lot of that had to do with getting hit by that Assault Cannon barrage. I was kind of upset about that. I did not expect my Raptors to go down that easily. It looks like the Bro Captain might go down. No, but he's getting crazy health regeneration from Unending Purge. And then this Space Marine Dreadnought is now in trouble. Even with that Assault Cannon. I'm upgrading to Tzeentch Chaos Space Marines right out on the field. Tzeentch Chaos Space Marines are very good against everything that's not a vehicle, and not even that bad against vehicles. Certainly going to be very good against heavy armor, and they do beat this Plasma Attack Squad. Certainly two of them will. Right now my Chaos Space Marines are not fully upgraded, and this one's walking up a little too far and not staying in cover, so I do have to retreat them. Chaos Havoc Squad right here in a position to deal with, in a very large firing arc, to deal with any vehicles that come into this area. Meanwhile, my victory point got back capped. Kind of annoying, but I have my Sorcerer over here to recapture it. Sorcerer level 2. So I'm kind of surprised. Power Fist ignores butt armor, has a really light build. He is getting a Plasma Cannon Devastator, which I think is a good choice. I really like Plasma Cannons. I actually, one of the things I don't like about the fact that I switched to Chaos is that I can't really use the Plasma Cannon Devastator as much. And, I mean, obviously, there's the Noise Cannon, the Sonic Blaster Noise Cannon, but I don't like that as much. Anyway, I teleport my Chaos Sorcerer in here. There were some units there I didn't expect. I was trying to counter this Devastator squad, but unfortunately my Sorcerer is just a little too low on health, and I think he will go down here. Meanwhile, Power Fist ignores butt armor, is getting charged by this Grey Knight Dreadnought. He's going to have a lot of trouble focusing down this Brother Captain. I don't know if the rockets will reliably hit the Brother Captain. Anyway, some worship right here, along with this Dreadnought in range of the Chaos Havoc Squad, getting hit by las cannon shots, and now the Tzeentch Chaos Space Marines, since they hard counter scouts, I'm trying to force off the scouts so that the Dreadnought will not have any repair support, and this Dreadnought is almost dead. I think maybe 2 more shots. Oh, 1 more shot. Takes out that Dreadnought. BloodySouly kept it in a little too long. And although it seemed like Power Fist ignores butt armor was having a little bit of trouble, but he actually manages to stay on the field, keeps both of his tack squads. They're both at about 50% health, but neither one of them has lost a model. And to complement, he even has even more AV in form of the Melt-A-Gun. Overall, the Plasma Gun would be a better choice for the Techmarine in this matchup, but he really just wants to focus on AV, in part because I told him that I don't really have good AV at the moment. Heretics, charging tacks, taking losses, and now they take too many losses, especially now that the Shotgun Scout Squad is there. Plasma Cannon Devastator, and I really like setup teams, especially Plasma Cannons, in this big middle area on this map, just because it's such a big open area, and Plasma Cannon Devastators have such a huge firing arc. They Shall Know No Fear was activated by the Space Marines, but my Sorcerer jumped in there, and they got hit by a big Plasma Cannon shot. Scouts are very nearly going to go down, and I actually teleport in there, and do I take out that Scout Squad? Yes, I do. So big losses for BloodySouly, now only down to 2 units, 1 tack squad and 1 Devastator Marine squad, but he is in Tier 3 with a ton of resources. And this Grey Knight Bro Captain. Bro Captain, I still think, yeah, I kind of think he's turning out to be really good, just with being such a tanky hero, and having this weapon, which is just really good. Someone was recently saying in the Dawn of War 2 Elite group chat that the Bro Captain is kind of like the Chaos Lord and the Force Commander combined. Basically, he can't be suppressed, he has a lot of health, and he does some decent range damage, like the Chaos Lord, but then he has a lot of the abilities of the Force Commander. That damage buffing, teleporting, area of effect knockback, although actually, We Are the Hammer, I don't think it actually does knockback. I don't think it actually activates knockback. But he still does really good knockback with his ability. This Bro Captain, meanwhile, has been upgraded to the Holy Armor of Titan. That Holy Armor of Titan gives the Bro Captain extra 400 health, decreases his cooldowns by 30%, and also gives him an invulnerability ability, which can be really tough to deal with. So anyway, most of the vehicles, I'm actually using my Chaos Havoc squad now to bash generators. That's another use of a Havoc squad, especially any las cannon squad or even a Bright Lance. Use it to bash generators, especially once all the vehicles are dead for your opponents. Anyway, it looks like we have a big mass of Space Marine units right here. BloodySouly does manage to get Terminators out. Obviously, an elite Tier 3 unit for the Space Marines. Does about 100 DPS piercing with their Storm Bolters. Can be upgraded to either have a Flamer, a Cyclone Missile Launcher, or an Assault Cannon. And any one of those could be a good choice, although probably the Flamer would be the least good choice, but it could still burn down generators ridiculously. Anyway, this Grey Knight Dreadnought kind of coming around in the back. I don't know what it's doing there. Red team now has that middle victory point. We also have Terminators for my teammate. Powerfist ignores butt armor. That Chaos Sorcerer teleports in, does get a knockback on the Devastator, but the Sorcerer's in a little bit of trouble right now. Tzeentch Chaos Space Marines are actually one of the best super heavy infantry counters in the game, so that also means they're one of the best Terminator counters in the game, and they are doing a lot of damage to these Terminators. Chaos Heretics, meanwhile, charge in, and those Heretics, I think, are being given a little too much room to breathe. Anyway, right now, CK MurderIsArt is actually using his Bro Captain to backcap. And that's kind of tough. Right now we're kind of struggling a bit on the fighting. The fighting has been pretty even so far, despite my team having more units than the other team. And I'm keeping my Chaos Space Marines in play, even though they don't have that many models. I'm also sitting on enough red to do an Imperial Abyss, and I am in Tier 3, even though I can't buy any Tier 3 units yet. Bro Captain gets that back cap, is now taking Tzeentch Fire, which is ultimately one of the best ways you can deal with a tanky melee hero. The Tzeentch Chaos Space Marines, just one of basically the best range unit in the game, although Warp Spiders are actually a little beher for focus firing down melee heroes. I do have these Bloodletters out, which I don't even think I mentioned. They will be good against just about anything from both teams. Wow. Powerfist ignores butt armor, actually teleports offensively with his Devastators. And I like the way his Plasma Cannon doing damage from such huge range. My Bloodletters teleport back in. Bloodletters will actually do really great damage to the Terminators, so I'm not entirely sure why I'm not focus firing them, or why I'm not hitting them with the Bloodletters. Could have done a lot of damage. As it is, I have Tzeentch Chaos Space Marines coming in for a bit of a flank, along with the Chaos Heretics. Not even sure. Oh, I worshipped because I wanted my Chaos Sorcerer to be cloaked while he subjugated these Terminators. So Terminators, I subjugate them, teleport them, put them out of position, and now I'm going to start hitting them with power melee Bloodletters as well as this Chaos Space Marine squad, doing great Inferno damage. So that means I do have Tome of Subjugation on this Chaos Sorcerer squad, and now these Chaos Terminators taking a ton of damage, down to only one model. Down, and wow, so they're actually good team play by the red team, and it looks like BloodySouly just barely gets his Terminator inside MurderIsArt's Land Raider Redeemer. So we have a big army from CK MurderIsArt, and he does have that air Valkyrie dropped Land Raider Redeemer. BloodySouly kind of laughs about it. That is, I mean, certainly it was frustrating for me, as I was the one chasing down those Terminators, and I probably would have killed them if that hadn't happened. But I just think that's actually really good team play, to put your Terminators into your ally's Land Raider, especially since Terminators don't fit into the regular transports. They can only be transported in Land Raiders. And most of the time, people don't even really remember that the Land Raider is a transport and that you can put your units inside of it. So that was really smart. And BloodySouly's Terminators back to full. They now have that Assault Cannon, which is probably one of the better choices to use against Space Marines. This Force Commander now going to be... Diomedy is going to be really annoying. Oh, no! Wipes Attack Squad from Powerfist, ignores butt armor. Really sad. But he does have that Power Fist, Armor of Alacrity, and the Teleporter Pack. A really good build. Basically, the Power Fist is just really good. Really good for killing single models, and obviously it can deal with vehicles too. And I have cloaked Tzeentch Chaos Space Marines. I mind control those Terminators again and teleport them out of here. Unfortunately, I'm not actually in that great of a position to kill them because I also have to deal with this Land Raider Redeemer as well as this Devastator squad suppressing my units. One Tzeentch Chaos Space Marine squad had to go, so that's really going to cut into my ability to kill the Terminators. Unfortunately, although... And let's see, those Terminators, yeah, they go back into the Land Raider Redeemer, and all of my units get blown up by that grenade launcher. I actually get Chaos Terminators. Now, this is something I'm really glad that I did. I haven't really been getting Chaos Terminators much when I play. I've kind of been saving up my red for Imperial Abysses, and I really like to use the Imperial Abyss, but Chaos Terminators are just really good, so I should really start using them more. They're just a great anti-all unit, really good against enemy vehicles, too. Chaos Sorcerer teleports in here to try to get these Inquisitorial Stormtroopers off the back cap, and I got the Las Cannon as well as my Terminators to try to do some AV to this Grey Knight Dreadnought. And this Grey Knight Dreadnought in a ton of trouble now, but my Las Cannon gets flanked. And unfortunately these Chaos Terminators also about to get hit by Strike Squads and the Bro Captain. Looks like the Grey Knight Dreadnought actually gonna just straight up get out of there. Sorcerer just barely gets off the decap, teleports out of there. And that means I think MurderIsArt is going to restart the decap. Bloodletters teleport in. I actually focus on the Strike Squad. Strike Squad retreats immediately, but now I have this Bro Captain pulling off a back cap at a time when I really can't afford that. Unfortunately, I actually lost track of my Terminators here, and so that's funny. The thing is, I actually, to be completely honest, I had totally forgotten about my Terminators. If I hadn't forgot about my Terminators, I probably would have teleported them out of there because I did not want to get that close to losing my Terminators. Basically, this was around the time that I remembered my Terminators, and I just barely got them out of there. Luckily, they did kill that Grey Knight Dreadnought. Unfortunately, I lost my Heretic Squad in all of that. Anyway, so it's a bit of a VP lead for the red team. They don't have quite as many units, but they're certainly keeping the fighting even, if not winning on the fighting. As is my teammates kind of getting forced off in the middle, tries to capture that middle point with his Scout Squad, but the Scout Squad does have to go. But Plasma Cannon, Devastator, gonna cover that point. Even gonna send in a big shot against, yes! Hits those Tactical Marines. And now we have just dueling Terminators, both with Assault Cannons. So obviously that's going to be a pretty even draw. No one's going to win there. Just an even draw. Setting up this Las Cannon. I actually set it up behind this cover. That gives it, obviously, a heavy cover bonus, because that's heavy cover. And the Bro Captain actually goes down. I think CK MurderIsArt focusing on that decap, but kind of lost track of it. And these Terminators taking a lot of damage from the Chaos Space Marines. These Chaos Space Marines, they're just really good against super heavy infantry. Right now, though, the Chaos Space Marines are actually getting kind of shut down a little bit by this Land Raider Crusader. Anyway, wow, I managed to get my cap back over here, but now I'm up against two tanky melee heroes. Got to bring my Tzeentch Space Marines back, as even committing my Bloodletters too. And that cap going off again. Those tanky melee heroes really making life difficult for me. And my teammate has taken back the middle. I think this Plasma Cannon is really being amazing, to be honest. Really keeping the rest of his units, at bay. And we actually have the middle victory point, but we just don't have this one over here. And red team even gets a 2-cap, capturing my natural victory point. And it's mainly because I'm having a ton of trouble forcing off this Bro Captain. Can't do knockback to him, and then once he activates Immortal, I can't do any damage to him either. So he can actually just tank a ton of melee fire. Now we have an orbital bombardment. Hitting rocket attacks, hitting Terminators. Oh man, they're all getting caught in that. But I do have my autocannon Terminator squad in here, doing damage to that Land Raider Crusader. Rocket attack goes down, very sadly. I think Terminators might go down too, taking a ton of fire. Yes, and my teammate does lose his Terminator squad, so big losses for him. But So, yeah, big losses for him. I do manage to revive his commander. Luckily, I'm still in here, still with all my units. And these Tzeentch Chaos Space Marines, I'm bleeding way too much for them. I'm really relying on them to deal with those Terminators, but they just unfortunately haven't really been able to function well enough because they've been getting hit by the suppression on that Land Raider Crusader. And this Land Raider Crusader is actually still alive. It's come close to death 2 times so far. Luckily, we've managed to get pretty close to this, and Power Fist ignores butt armor, actually moving in there. Oh, now we have another orbital bombardment. I think this one was kind of pointless because Power Fist ignores butt armor is just going to drive out of there. Now, what I'm doing right now, we're having a bit of trouble in the fighting. My teammate just lost a bunch of units. I'm actually coming around for a back cap right here with these Bloodletters. I'm kind of doing that. I, in part, got the idea from my opponents. They've been back capping. So, I'm doing it too. They're actually taking damage from a Purgation Squad, a level 3 Purgation Squad. But I just stick it out. I take the bleed, I get the decap, and then I retreat my Bloodletters out of there. Buys us some time. Meanwhile, we have both players kind of moving into the middle and over into the my natural victory point. But this Predator from BloodySouly already goes down. Combination of this Predator from butt armor as well as my autocannon Terminator squad. And right now I'm focus firing that Bro Captain, and wow, he can really do a lot with when he's, first of all, when he's level 9, and then also when he has that immortal ability. Butt armor gets new Terminators. Alright. So, alright. Now I'm in a pretty good situation. I think this Land Raider Crusader is in trouble. Gonna get hit by las cannons as well as the autocannon Terminators. It will definitely go down here. No chance. And that is the end of the Land Raider Crusader. So that's a big victory for us, but we're still having a lot of trouble in the fighting. I finally fully upgraded my Chaos Space Marines. They are level 4. They have been bleeding me a ton, but they are level 4, and they are really ridiculous at level 4. Meanwhile, Paladins come in for a cap on the middle victory point, and I actually just decide to Imperial Abyss them. Imperial Abyss does a ton of damage, but it actually does not force these Terminators off. They are still getting that decap, and it's a 2-to-1 in favor of the red team, especially at a time when we can't afford to lose too many more victory points. Big blob from here. Double Tzeentch Chaos Space Marines. Alright, so I'm focus firing the Terminators with my Tzeentch Chaos Space Marines, which is the correct choice. And this is a fight that ultimately looks like it's going to favor my team. Strike Squad closing for melee with the Tzeentch Chaos Space Marines. Bloodletters kind of over-teleport. I think I had done that a little bit too early. Bloodletters, oh, they're trying to deal with that Bro Captain, and CK MurderIsArt is really being a bit of a pest with that, just that Bro Captain, using him to cap with the invincibility, and then we basically can't do anything about it. Although there, he finally overstayed his welcome, and he did lose his Bro Captain. We'll need to either buy it back or have his teammate revive, but right now, my team has certainly gotten a lot of things in the middle. Now, since we actually have no vehicles to deal with, I still have a las cannon Havoc. As you can see, I'm actually running over to this side, and I'm going to go for a back cap again to kind of buy us some more time. That back capping from the red team has definitely been helping them out a lot, giving them this VP lead. This las cannon taking shots, but BloodySouly, I mean, Power Fist ignores butt armor, is doing a good job of keeping his Predator back. His Predator hasn't even taken that much damage, allowing it to really do a lot of damage. And now these Paladins, wow, took a lot of losses from my Chaos Space Marines as well as my Bloodletters, and those Paladins just down to 1 model. And now we have another back cap again, this time from BloodySouly. Luckily, I'm getting this counter back cap. Honestly, if I didn't get this back cap over here, the game probably would have been over right after this guy got his back cap over here. Just those back caps were really killing us. So I kind of started doing it to them. And unfortunately, my Havocs were just going to lose to these Purgation Squads. And they almost die. But luckily, my teammate drops a Venerable Dreadnought. A really good play. That's going to, even though the Vendread can't cap, it's going to deny the cap to the red team. Now the red team has taken a lot of losses. I don't even know what unit they just lost. Bloodletters, unfortunately, I was not paying attention. I lost my bloodletters. I'm down to not too many units. I'm actually saving up a lot of resources. BloodySouly, I think, saving up for more Terminators, because that's what he has the resources for. This Force Commander right here, unfortunately, cannot really tank the way that Bro Captain can. And now it's a single cap. Single cap for us. I managed to subjugate the Terminators. They teleported away, but I got the subjugate on them, moving them back over here so that they can start taking damage from my Tzeentch Chaos Space Marines as well as my Autocannon Havocs. Do some Doom Bolts, although ultimately I'm not really going to get them this time. Unfortunately, I know how to really make Terminators useless with the Sorcerer. Mainly, I've kind of just been... I forgot a key ingredient in the Sorcerer counter for Terminators, which is getting the Robes of Torment. Because once you use their teleport and you have them with the Robes of Torment, there's just nothing they can do. They can't retreat. And yeah, there's just nothing they can do. Bro Captain again over here. Trying to... Oh, activates the Immortal ability. Will definitely get that decap off. And now we have more Terminators from BloodySouly. 2 Terminator squads. And now a Thunderhammer Terminator squad going after this Predator. It's now a single cap game. But I still have Tzeentch Chaos Space Marines on the field doing lots of damage to Terminators. Tzeentch Chaos Space Marines, just one of the best choices against Terminators. The Terminators do jump in here, but they're just taking even more Tzeentch fire because I had my other Tzeentch squad back here. Ooh, quite a game so far. And this... Oh, wow. All right, the Assault Terminators go down that time. And this Vendread being really good, too. Vendread doing so much. And it's, again, a one-to-one using those Terminators. Wow, MurderIsArt has lost almost his entire army, but he used those Terminators to at least get the decap off. Now we have an Orbital Bombardment over here. I was not paying enough attention. I start to move my units out of the way. Do get the teleport on the Terminators, but and I actually moved my Tzeentch Chaos Space Marines out of the way. Some of them. Havoc squad got caught in there, and so did my teammates' Terminators. I do lose a Chaos Space Marine squad right there. This las cannon's still here, still fighting, still taking shots at Terminators. And now Chaos Terminators hopefully going to start taking some shots. Wow. And powerfist ignores butt armor, tells me to cap. He just lost his scout squad. And I'm unfortunately not moving it, but I do use another Imperial Abyss. I actually really wanted to just kill that las cannon for some reason. And using an Imperial Abyss on a setup team, if you place it right on the setup team will probably die. Right now, the way Imperial Abyss works, it's usually not that harmful to any units that are not right in the center. And then most units can kind of just retreat out of the center pretty quickly. Setup teams being an obvious exception right there. And the Bro Captain goes down. 1 Chaos Terminator goes down. I've actually managed to keep them in here with very little health. And that's pretty much the game for us. I got this Great Unclean one, which didn't even get to do much, but I'm moving it up here. Basically just to keep my opponents in their base. And that's definitely the game for us. And I just do a little Wildment for good measure. And that was quite a game. Let's just take a look at a few things right here. Sorcerer level 10. Sorcerer level 10. Force Commander level 7, Bro Captain level 10, Techmarine only level 5. Techmarine, he was on the ground a little bit, did die a few times. That Sorcerer, wow. Yeah, so that was the game. Hope you enjoyed it. Have a good night.